Well, hello there, friends. It's Neil here from Post to Post. It's Friday. That means Jersey Concepts here on the channel. And Keegan is the designer today. So maybe if you're new, every single Friday on the channel, we look at designs or jersey concepts or uniform concepts sometimes from the NHL, from designers in the community. Like I said, Keegan is the designer here today, and he's come up with 32 NHL alternate jerseys. I've not seen these, and you've not seen these, so let's check these out together and react and have some fun on this Friday start to the weekend. Okay, let's bring up the first one. It's going to be Anaheim. All right, coming up. Oh, okay. So I noticed, well, two things. Number one, I don't think I've ever seen an arm design like that coming down. It's almost like dripping paint a little bit. Secondly, I like, the logo's throwing me off a little bit because I know it's different. It looks like it's colorized differently. But the more I look at it, the more I don't know specifically if it's like a false memory of what the original logo looks like, or it like, to me the eyebrows look different. And the shadow underneath looks a little bit different. But I like what's going on, is basically what I'm saying. I'm not sold on the shoulders, the arms, like this section that's maybe a little bit too bold for me. Kind of like what's happening at the bottom of the sleeves, the bottom of the jersey as well. Love the logo though, and I love that eggplant as the primary color. Let's continue. Boston. Wow, okay. So we've got what, a kind of a variation of Reverse Retro 2.0 that's been inversed with the other bear, with the meth bear essentially as the primary logo, and honestly, it looks pretty good. Like I'm really hard pressed to say anything negative. Maybe I don't like the font that the numbers are, but other than that, like I love the meth bear, I love the meme. The shoulder patch looks really good, and I just like that kind of classic jersey design just because it makes me nostalgic, and it's cool to see an inverse version of it. So yeah, I'm actually in favor of this. Next, the Buffalo Sabres. So Buffalo has right now the alternate as the goat head jersey, but it's black, and I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan actually. So I would never want to see that changed. I'd want to see that to be their alternate for like the next 10 years. That's how much I like it. So if I look at this and I think, if this is an alternate series, is this to replace what teams have, or is this an in addition? And I think in Buffalo's case, or in Keegan's case here in his designs, I like this, and I would like to see this as an addition and not a replacement. Now, you don't have to agree; it's all subjective. But I think most people would likely choose the current one that we have, the black one, versus this red one. But that's nothing against this red one because it's also really nice. The shoulder patch, the Buffa Slug, recolored up there on the shoulders, is pretty good. I like that. I'm also a big fan of the Buffa Slug. I know most people aren't actually, but I am. So yeah, I like this one. Let's move on. Carolina Hurricanes. So. Yes to the Hartford Whalers colors, but I think it's a little bit played out. I've said that a couple of times over the past year. I think we can probably put the Hartford Whalers colors to rest, or not the colors, but the kind of design. Let's put it to bed. Let's put it to rest and continue with the Carolina brand. We've paid quite a lot of respect to the Hartford Whalers in the past couple of years. So I don't know if I'd want to see it come back as a permanent alternate, but if it did, not a fan of this logo. I understand what's happening here. Obviously, it's supposed to represent a hurricane, but it's missing the mark for me. Also, I feel like the yellow kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's not really part of the Hartford Whalers branding or the Carolina Hurricanes branding. So yeah, not personally a fan of this, but I do really like the shoulder patch recolorized like that. That looks pretty cool. Let's move on. Columbus. So go with a bit of a retro theme. I meant to say it was a couple of jerseys ago. I can't remember what team it was, but I didn't like the font. It wasn't Boston. It was a team maybe after that. I didn't like the font. It was too thin, and that's the first thing I noticed here. I don't like the font on this jersey. I also don't like it being black. I think that it doesn't look as good on the blue as the white does. So maybe if the number was red stroked in white, or if it was white stroked in red or something, but just black with no stroke, really thin like that, it's a miss for me. It also it's not the same font as the C on the front, so there's like confliction there. In terms of the jersey, I do like the logo. I like the arms. I like the neck. The rest of it's pretty good. I really have an issue with the font, honestly. Calgary, holy gradient. Okay, so there are definitely good things about this. There are definitely things I don't like about this. Let's start with the good. The good to me is the kind of previous Calgary Flames generation jersey, which did look good. They wore it for a while. They needed to change it, but it did look good. So to see it kind of come back in this way, specifically kind of like the middle section design, I would be okay with, especially if they're going to do something as drastic as this in an alternate. Also, I like the shoulder patches, the Canadian flag, and the Alberta provincial flag. I also know that most people don't like that, and I am in the minority there. However, I like to see it on there. I like to see places and states and provinces represented. So those two things I definitely like. I like the idea of the gradient going from the dark red, maybe they use now an orangish, up into the yellow. That's kind of a neat transition. I'm I don't I wouldn't say I like it or dislike it. It's just it looks acceptable in this concept. What I don't like is the neck being gray like that because there's not gray in anywhere else in the jersey other than maybe a little bit in the logo. But like I think that should be white to contrast with the white stripes down below. The second thing and the most biggest thing here for me is the logo. I number one is it looks too small for that jersey, so I would make it bigger if we're going to go with that logo. But I also don't really like that logo that much. If we're going to use the C with the flames, let's not use the small version underneath Calgary. I want to see a bigger version. Or if you just want to put Calgary on there, I'm okay with that too. Just remove the C. So yeah, if the C is going to be on there, I think it just needs to be big. Okay, Chicago. I think this would complement well with what they have. It's it's a good kind of a side jersey because you've got what the red home, the white away. So do you go with black? Well, you know you did the Winter Classic a couple of years ago. Why not kind of like a charcoal gray? So I love the decision to go with that specific color. I think that looks really good, and the arms are a little bit more modern than specifically the striping on the arms is a little bit more modern. So it kind of like bridges the gap between original six into like a modern design. So I'm actually very okay with the design from top to bottom. It does clash a little bit because it's so starkly monochrome throughout the middle and the top. It's like it's just gray, right? And then you get such a splash of color in the arm, the red, the orange, and the yellow, and some green in there as well. So it's a lot. It's a lot of contrast, but it's also pretty cool at the same time. I think this would look good in uniform. Moving on to the Avalanche. So immediately, I would say the top part of the logo, not the text, but the top part is fine. I prefer the current logo more. The bottom section where it says Avalanche, don't like that at all. You can't read it on the blue, so I would make that white or the lighter blue that you see in the logo, or the gray or silver or something. The rest of the jersey's fine, although I would say that I do prefer what they have now in terms of the kind of jaggedy edges all around. Dallas, wow, that logo is actually pretty cool. I think most people who see this will prefer the alternate that they have, where it looks very similar to this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I think most people will prefer that, but this also does look pretty good. I will say that I think that I guess design language of the logo, it's very neon sign. It's thin. The way that it kind of, if you look at the right hand section of the logo and coming down, where the star meets the leg, where the arm meets the leg, there's a bit of a gap there, and you see that in neon signs. And I really like it in this logo. I think it's very well executed. However, if you look at the striping, it's too thick. I want it to reflect the same thickness in the logo. I just feel like there's two conflicting styles kind of happening. So I would want to see either a thicker green kind of around the logo, maybe just even just a little bit thicker to kind of bridge that gap, or a thinner stripe in the arm. I'm being nitpicky here, but you know it is what it is. Detroit, yes, I mean a black alternate jersey would be fantastic, and I like this one a lot actually. There's not much that I would change about this. I love the white in the arms, the numbers being red. Yeah, maybe okay. It does contrast nice with the D in the middle of the jersey, but the C is kind of throwing me off. I think you either need to go with a solid C like the numbers are, or maybe make that white to kind of balance with these sleeves a little bit. But he's got the C on the right side, which is pretty cool. Or right side for Detroit specifically. Next, the Edmonton Oilers. This one's going to be an immediate miss for me. I don't like the logo. Orange as the primary is definitely fine, but I don't know if I like it the way that it's used with the sleeves and the shoulders. So I would say this is probably the worst one so far for me. It's going to be a miss. Okay, so the Florida Panthers, I mean, this is what? Reverse Retro 2.0 combined with, I don't know, Reverse Retro 1.0 a little bit. So this is great. I absolutely love this. This is incredible. I would love to see this actually come as a permanent alternate. I think the Reverse Retro 2.0 was one of the best. It is amazing. However, I don't know if you'd want to bring that specific design back as a permanent alternate. So I really think Keegan actually made a smart and logical decision here. You bring back the majority of the jersey, we'll say 95% of the design, but you bring back the most popular logo with it. So I think it would be a really popular alternate. If this did exist, it would sell very well. Moving on to LA, we've got some purple. I like the arms a lot. I like the bottom of the jersey a lot. It's almost kind of, you've got two generations kind of hanging out together in this jersey. The bottom, the black and stuff, and the silver, and then the logo in the middle. That's that's the generation that I guess technically we have now, but we had in the 90s as well. And then you've also got that sneaky little purple in there as the primary color. It shouldn't work, but if you know the history of the LA Kings and you know their colors that they've used in the past, and you appreciate them specifically, I think you're going to like this. And I like this because I really appreciate their history. So I think this looks really good. I like this one, Keegan. Okay, the Minnesota Wild. I have immediate opinions about this. The jersey itself, the striping on the arms, the lack of squared off shoulders or rounded shoulders, just letting the green come up, the yellow striping down below, perfect. Literally perfect. Wouldn't change anything. The numbers also look good. The logo is a total miss for me. That bear looks like it's pooping. And the back legs are forward instead of back. Like if they were back and arched, it would be in a pounce position. And I know bears kind of do look like this at times, but to me, that bear looks like it's got both legs forward. It's spreading the cheeks and it's dropping some presence in the forest. It's just not a very intimidating silhouette or look for the bear. But I do appreciate taking the logo and expanding it into the creature, developing the character of the brand of the Minnesota Wild into just kind of a bigger logo. I think that is amazing. I would just change the stance is all. And then the Wild text down below, I would just eat that off there. That's a no-go for me. It's at a weird angle. You'd have to tilt your head to read it, and it's too much green on green. I would just remove it. But yes, to the idea behind this, maybe just execution-wise with the stance. The Montreal Canadiens, a blue is the primary, sign me up. Red shoulders like this, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I think the maybe Reverse Retro 1.0 is better than this. Reverse Retro 2.0 maybe also better than this, but this is still okay. This would be acceptable as an alternate. The Devils, okay, so we've seen that logo lots of times before. Is that the Cardiff Devils logo? Yeah, that's the Cardiff Devils logo in the EIHL in Europe, or Wales specifically. That's their logo. So would this be on a New Jersey Devils jersey in the NHL? No, it definitely would not. So the logo's cool, but completely unrealistic due to copyright, trademark. Like it's just not going to happen. The sleeves at the bottom with the little hook there. It's a kind of a neat idea, but it is a very empty jersey. I don't know if I would add maybe some color up here, maybe just a little red thin stripe or something. I don't know, but it's okay. Nashville, absolutely for 90% of it. I like the shoulder patch. It's actually really cool. The pinstriping, that's not necessarily pinstriping. It's just a little bit thicker. Sure, let that breathe a little bit and make the transition between the gray and the blue. Using blue as the primary color, utilizing so much gray as the secondary color, and having yellow as kind of the tertiary. This is a really, really good jersey. The only thing that bothers me is the bottom of the sleeves. I don't understand the little like Mickey ear, upside down Mickey ear at the bottom. So other than that, I would just kind of remove that and let that gray just kind of come all the way across. I really like this jersey. The Islanders, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Most designers, and for good reason, when they do the fisherman, they put the wave in there, they put the logo in there, so far so good. But they use orange as the primary, or they use green as the primary, or white as the primary. How many designs have we seen? If you're a loyal, frequent viewer on the channel, how many fisherman designs have we seen where black has been the primary color? Not many. Honestly, not many at all. And it's kind of a welcome surprise a little bit. Like if I was going to redesign the fisherman jersey, I likely wouldn't use black as the primary color, but it looks really good. And I think the logo is a little bit small. I would make the logo a little bit bigger, maybe move it up just slightly. But I like the kind of decision to go with not necessarily a solid stripe, to actually add some of the black back into the stripe down below, into that wave pattern at the bottom. So yeah, I actually really like this jersey a lot. I would shrink the shoulder patches a little bit, but other than that, yeah, strong jersey here, strong jersey. Next, the Rangers. Okay, so I love the logo in the middle. I think that is fantastic. I've actually never seen that one before. The neck is pretty good. The shoulders are okay. I really like the design on the arms on the bottom. I think that is really great, actually. The silhouette at the bottom losing me a little bit. I think I would actually just remove the silhouette and just let the blue come down. Next, the Ottawa Senators. Okay, so expression on the face, a little bit too comic-like, a little bit too not aggressive enough. It looks too much like a cartoon, I think. So, but the rest of the logo looks really good. So I like that. I like the stripe in the background. The stripe down below is fine. The shoulder patch is amazing, but yeah, just the face is not for me. The Flyers. Arms, yes. Shout out to the Quakers from long ago. Numbers on the shoulders. Absolutely. Definitely. I love that. And specifically, the white outlined in orange on the black. Amazing. Looks great. The logo looks like a mid to late 90s graffiti logo. It's all over the place, and this is not personally for me. The Penguins. Wow. Gray as the primary. Black as the secondary, and kind of a desaturated gold as the third color. I'm a little bit torn because I actually really like what's happening in the jersey everywhere except for the logo. I think the logo for me is kind of dragging it down a little bit. I think it's the Penguins font. I want to say something that I don't know if I've ever said about any jersey other than the one that I'm wearing. It's the Detroit jersey. If you're going to put font on a jersey, I would prefer it to have the least amount of letters as possible, which is typically why I don't like, the Rangers jersey, or the Islanders did it, and I think the Reebok years or before that, and then Colorado did it once, and Tampa has done it with bolts, and that looks okay because it's fewer letters. Vegas has done it with fewer letters, that looks okay. Carolina as well, fewer letters, again, it looks okay. Pittsburgh has done this with the slant, and I don't like it because it's long. But I think if you just remove the arc from that and you made it flat, like this jersey, right above that gold line, that top gold line, I think I'd actually be okay with it. I think it's more so the arc that I don't like, not necessarily the font or the fact that it's on there. Now, the little tiny best logo from the Penguins ever, I don't necessarily want it removed. I either just want it bigger and lower or not on there at all. Right now, it just looks a little bit awkward, but I kind of like where this jersey's going. Okay, Seattle Kraken. I feel like I've seen jersey concepts very similar to this, maybe even almost identical. It looks good. I don't have a lot to say here. I feel like I've seen it in the past. San Jose Sharks. Okay. Well, my computer just randomly restarted. That's literally never happened to me before, so I don't know what's going on, but there'll be a cut in this portion of the video. I'll come back at you soon. All right, we're back. Not sure what happened there, but San Jose Sharks. Okay, so I guess my initial reaction was like, wow, if I remember. But the captain on there being font, I'm actually okay with. The split jersey design with a little bit of angularity on the sleeves, on the edges, I actually like that a lot too. A lot of times, split jersey designs don't work. However, San Jose Sharks has one of the best, if not the best, split jersey design back from the Stadium Series in the Reebok years in like 2015 or something like that. Amazing jersey. It's one of my favorite jerseys in my collection. The logo it feels too low because of the captain, so maybe move the captain up, maybe move the logo up so it's kind of centered on that striping in the background. I'm okay with the logo itself. Like I prefer the actual one, the original one, or the new version of it. But I think this one's okay in the front. Yeah, I like it. I think most people maybe won't gravitate towards this, but I do like it. The St. Louis Blues, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good using the logo from the Reebok alternate from around 2012. Rest of the jersey's pretty fine. I think the shoulders are better on the current home and current away, but this is definitely nice. Tampa Bay Lightning, absolutely, 100%. Use some of that personality, some of that Lightning aspect, that character of the brand, put it in the sleeves, and use it as a transition. Like, that's so logical of Keegan to do. So smart. So yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. I wouldn't change necessarily anything about this jersey, actually. It's got some of that black that we love and we want to come back to see in the brand, but you also kind of stay true with the blue. So we like that. Next, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, immediate no because it looks like an ugly Christmas sweater, and I'm not saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs branding is ugly. It's the repetitive nature of the logo and the striping. You see that in the ugly Christmas sweaters. It's what they call them. So immediate miss for me. I would remove that. A funny, specialty jersey, sure, why not? But as a permanent alternate, that's going to be definitely a no for me. I like the maple leaf on the sleeves. I would love to see something like that come back, or not come back, sorry, and be used permanently, but just not the way that this jersey is designed. The Utah Hockey Club. So okay, I mean, it's still pretty generic based on their brand, which is it should be, but I mean it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Moving on, the Vancouver Canucks. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. We have to travel back through time 3 generations. The logo, which is the current logo, has been recolorized to use the colors from the logo that we see in the shoulders. We have to go back even further because the V that we see in the background is also from a jersey, in the original days or just after. So there's 3 generations at play here. Essentially, I like everything except for the V in the background. I would remove that personally. I know a lot of people like it, and I love that kind of meme jersey back then, but I would just personally remove it. So I like the logo recolorized like that. It does look good. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it does look good. I would just prefer to see the shoulder patch logo as the primary. You put that orca on the shoulder, so just swap the logos. Something I think is really, really good is the striping on the arm and the striping on the bottom of the jersey. I love the fact that it's a bit of yin and yang. We've got yellow on the top, the number splits it, and then we get red on the bottom. It's not symmetrical, and usually on paper, that's not a good thing, but I think visually here, it looks really good. So I'm a big fan of the arms, the way that's done that. It's really unique, but simple. Okay, the Kings. This would be a miss for me for one big reason. Again, it's the logo. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but for me, the logo is a miss here. It says Vegas in there. The sword is nice, but it's hard to read. And if you're going to put letters on there, you got to make it easy to read. And to me, this is just not easy to read. So yeah, this would be a miss for me overall. The Jets. Okay, so I've seen that logo before for sure, and I think I was critical of it because it doesn't look like an F-18, and that's all that Canada has is the F-18. So this wouldn't really match the logo too well here. That's an F-15, F-22, probably an F-15. Anyways, the jersey's okay. I mean, red is the primary, fine. As an alternate, okay. I think they've had better alternates in the past. The Capitals, 100%. 100%. I really like this. I think most people maybe won't. It's very similar to this jersey, isn't it? In a way, it's very similar. I like it. I love how thick that white stripe is in the middle. Like that's so risky, but to me it pays off and it does work. I would change one small little thing. The shoulder patch logo, I would kind of outline it in white. Just add a little bit white up there to help it stand out on the shoulder and also help balance with the white in the middle of the jersey. I love the fact that it's red all at the bottom. Just let that breathe all the way down. I think that's great. I think this is definitely one of the better Washington Capitals concepts that I've seen personally. However, I'm very aware that I have very specific tastes, and many people would completely disagree with me here on my opinions of that specific one. In terms of my favorite, I have to go back through it because that computer restarting really threw me off. Let's give some honorable shoutouts. I think that's probably fair. The Boston one maybe deserves an honorable shoutout because it's a good inverse execution of that kind of reverse retro 2.0 jersey. The Chicago one probably deserves, I think, a bit of an honorable shoutout. I think if I was going to award like second place, I'd probably give it to Detroit, and that's not. I mean, I'm not a Red Wings fan. I just wear a different team every video, so I'm not biased here. Because I'm wearing it, I just think that it's a really good concept. It's simple. It's just like it's very logical for Detroit. So we'll say that's second. Okay. Honorable shout out to the LA Kings. That was also excellent. Actually, you know what? I got to move it. I got to do this over again. There's too many. There's two that I really, really like more than Detroit jersey. Let's put Detroit third. We'll put LA fourth. Okay. I got to put the Islanders second. All right. That fisherman is actually really nice. I like it in black. I totally forgot about it. Islanders in second, and I gotta go Capitals first. I just wasn't expecting that for the Capitals for design. So that's pretty cool, and that's what I love doing these videos. I know that like I've done hundreds of these at this point, loads of them. And I can understand it's a bit repetitive. It might be a little bit boring, but I love doing them because I love seeing your work from the community. Like, I love opening these up and seeing them for the first time. It's like the best part of my week. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. But I'm low on sets from people. So if you want to come up with your own set and send it in, that would be so amazing. I'd love to look at your work. Details on how to do that are down below in the description. But if you don't have a template, whether it's this one that we've looked at today, or if it's a more simplified version that's not 3D and stuff, and you want to pick one up, I can help you out a little bit with a 10% discount over at sportstemplates.net. And that's going to get you the exact template that we see in this video. It's probably the best in the business. It's super realistic. It's easy to work with. It's 8K. So if that does interest you and you want to save a little bit of coin, make sure you use the code POST2POST. Gonna save you 10% there. That code also applies throughout the entire site, not just this template, but the entire site. Whatever template that you want, you can get with that code. And it also, if you want to get 4 at the same time, it's 10% off all 4. So make sure you use that code if you are going to pick something up. And they have free ones. I like to mention that every single time. There's free templates over there. So if you want to just go pick one up and you know, test your skills out and send something in, that would be great. So we'd love to see your work. Please send them in. Details are down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. That helps a lot. And I hope you have a great start to your weekend. If you're new and you want to see videos just like this, you got to hit the subscribe button down below. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. Have a great weekend. See you later. Adios.